to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Bam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey, yo, heart. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart, it's the heart.
All right, we're going to try this again. I was apparently muted. I can still hear it through my headphones, but no, you could not. Hey, this is the podcast. Well, let's start over. Right? Hello and welcome to the podcast, guys. This is The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood. It is the 16th of May, 2024. We are here for episode 215. Tonight, we are going to have some fun conversations with a couple of more English blokes from all the way over BV Wales. And yeah, that was interesting. For the second week in a row, I have audio issues. What was I just saying before I unmuted myself? This was a day where I'm pretty proud of myself because I seemed to get everything ready for the show in very short order. Got 2 interviews recorded, saved, edited, ready to go. And the computers were all working right. Everything worked in my advantage to make sure I could get things done very quickly. And I start off the show muted again. Oh, guys, there should be a big old red siren button. There's a little button over here, but it doesn't light up quite like I wish it would to let me know you are muted. I wish it could. But anyway, crazy stuff. So, I just want to say hi. This is going to be an expedited. Now, when I say expedited, we're going to just push on through some stuff today, right? We're going to be pushing on through some stuff because we have to get. Oh, I'm sorry. See, this is the lack of intelligent thinking. This is the stupid American in me. So I have been corrected. Rob, thank you so much, Rob. This is just my lack of knowledge of everything that is over in the UK. I still struggle with how you guys are organized over there, but he just reminded me, Wales is not England. Welsh people are Welsh, not English. They're kind of proud of that. Okay. Well, I do apologize to BV Wales for calling you that, if that's in fact the case. See, dumb American over here. I'll learn it one day. I'll get better. I'll get better at figuring out where you guys identify as and where from and everything else. We just see that country over there, and you're all grouped together, and yeah, we're just dumb over here. So I do apologize for my ignorance. It's not the last time. It's not the first time. It won't be the last time. So I apologize profusely. So what else could go wrong with this episode? I started off muted. I started calling people things they're not. I don't know. One thing is for sure. I have an interview tonight to share with you, speaking with Andy from BV Wales. That much is sure. I know that for sure. And we're talking about Beardiff. And I also have an interview with Moose from the same chapter because he did a little something for himself on the side for charity. I got an interview with him as well. Both of them stayed up late tonight over there to speak with me. Got great interviews with both of them. And that is what I do know. That is today's show, episode 215. So before I go any further, I do want to say hi. Thank you to those that are tuning in live today here on the live stream and watching all of this chaos happen. So to those people, I apologize, but yet you know better. You know what you're going to get with old BP coming in on a Thursday night on the Heart of a Villain. Well, any night that we do the Heart of a Villain. It's never perfect, and I always screw things up in some way, shape, or form. So, but hey, I think that's why you're here. I think that's part of the reason why you're here. So I have to give a shout out to Mr. Ramsey. Mr. Ramsey says, hello. He's just cooking some dinner. Good deal. Just chilling out, cooking some dinner. Christian is hanging out with us as well. How you doing, Christian? Good to see you here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Mr. Buff Cattails says, what's up? Good evening. How you doing? Thank you for letting me know that I had no audio. He says, couldn't hear you. Can't hear you. So good thing you commented when you did. Otherwise, I would have done the first half of the show muted. So thank you very much. But Rob chimed in, of course. He says, audio is highly overrated. Well, that's only when it's me, right? People get tired of hearing me talk already just in 5 minutes. So, yes, it's highly overrated. Mars is hanging out with us as well. Says, happy Junior Friday. That's right. That's kind of what it is. Oh, Rob. Rob says, Beardiff was awesome. For those who want to see the fun, there's video footage of the beard comp. Yes. That's awesome. It's funny. Just like Beardiff, just like so many of the other events that are run over there, they actually have real castles where they do flag shoots. Real, truly historic buildings that are hundreds and sometimes thousands of years old that they're doing these flag shoots in front of. And it's just awesome. Meanwhile, here in the States, we might take a picture in front of some wall that's been painted or in front of a bridge that is architecturally kind of cool, but it's only been standing for 20 years or 25 years. And, that's the way things are. We don't have castles to take pictures in front of. So I kind of joked around during my interview with Andy. I said, maybe I just need to take 2 weeks and just have somebody just drive me around all the castles, and I can just take flag pictures in front of every one of the castles that we can come across in that time. Yes, that's true, Rob. Rob says castles that don't serve hamburgers. Hey now. All right. So here's the deal. Thank you guys for tuning in. Here's the deal. I'm not going to do, because I'm jam-packed with 2 interviews tonight, I'm not going to do any merch, and I'm not going to do any specific other things, major shout-outs. I was in the preparation for trying to get villains, the Villains Around the World segment ready to go for tonight. But because I had 2 interviews and because of all this other craziness that's going on here in my life, I was unable to do that. So I know there's a few people out there that have shared some information with me about what your chapters are doing. And I do apologize for not sharing that on this week's episode. It will be on next week's. I promise you that. I will have it ready to go for next week's episode, because it does not matter when you do it. The fact is you did it, and you did it for somebody else, and you did it to better the lives of other people. And I definitely want to give a shout out when you do that kind of stuff. So it's cataloged. It's ready. It will be ready to go for me to give you a shout out in your chapter shout outs next week. That being said, if there's something that you do in this next week, reach out, let me know, and I will include it in next week's episode. This was just a real special week, a real unique week, because it just happened to work out where I was able to finally get my interview with Andy, because he's been so busy and he's had all sorts of stuff going on in his life. And we've tried for weeks to try and get this set up since Beardiff, and it just didn't work out. So finally tonight we were able to talk, and then it just happened to work out that I ended up getting an interview with Moose too. So we kind of had to shovel things around a little bit. So there will be no Villains Around the World segment and no merch tonight. So hopefully that doesn't upset people too badly. But I do want to just get right into things, right? So this was a great conversation I had earlier today. When I say earlier today, I mean just a little bit ago. But hopefully Andy's now tucked safely into his bed, sleeping and dreaming dreams. And while we're sitting here talking about him, he's just chilling and sleeping. And he'll find out all about this in the morning. But I do want to share my interview I had with him. I had a great time talking to him about what BV Wales is up to and all of the charity stuff. You know, it's interesting. This is another situation. I haven't really come across it specifically in several episodes where we talk about one of the chapters that's overseas outside of the States and the struggles that sometimes they have with in regards to doing charity efforts and trying to raise money for other charities and other organizations. There are countries out there that have specific rules, and you're only allowed to do, X number of dollars up to a certain amount, and unless you're categorized a certain way. And it just seems like it's crazy to think that there's roadblocks put in place to prevent people and organizations from giving money to people who need it. It seems crazy that there would be roadblocks to prevent that, but there's places it just happens. It's all government stuff and whatever, and they're working through it. But it was the first time I'd heard about that going on over there. So, it is what it is. But they are doing good things, and they're finding a way around things. They're doing it the right way, but they're recognizing that we can still do good, and we're doing some awesome stuff. And that's what Wales is doing right now. So got to give a shout out. I had to give them on. So here we are. First interview of the night, talking with Andy from BV Wales about, little thing called Beardiff. I have a very special guest tonight. Again, just like last week, all the way over from England. We're going to be talking with Andy from the Bearded Villains Wales chapter. We're talking about a thing, that happened on May 4th, a few weeks back, called Beardiff. We're going to learn all about what it is, what's going on with the chapter, all the good stuff. Welcome to the show, Andy. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, good to speak to you, mate. How are you doing?
Man, I'm glad we finally nailed you down. I'm glad
Finally.
I'm glad health is taken care of, family's taken care of. We're good
All
to
good,
go,
yeah.
so we can roll forward, man. And you know what though? I from the pictures and from the posts that I've seen from the event, I don't care if it took us 6 months to nail you down to talk about this thing. We got to talk about it because it was like an amazing
Fantastic
time.
day. Fantastic day.
But before we get there, tell everybody a little bit about you, about what's going on with the chapter, man.
So I'm Andy. I'm the captain of Bearded Villains Wales. We're coming up 9 years now, and yeah, we're getting bigger. We're nearly at 70 guys. We're a very active chapter.
Wait a minute, 70 guys.
Yeah, 70, yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
When I started 5 years ago, we had near 30. We've grown. It kind of locked down, during that period. Quite a few came in during that period. It seemed to get easier to come into the chapter because we were stuck. But we brought in a good few guys, and we've grown since then. We seem to be bringing in guys, and it's working well. It's really establishing itself in the UK. With all the chapters we have, I think we're the largest chapter in the UK.
You gotta be. I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
In all the UK, I didn't imagine that there was one chapter that could possibly have that many guys. out of all you guys
Well,
over there?
you go to Sweden or other places like
Well,
that, they have quite a lot of guys. But yeah, we do have a lot. Wales is quite a big place. You know, it's from north down to south is a good 4.5 hour drive. But we seem to be doing well as a chapter. Our values and how we work. It's a good chapter. We got good things going at the moment with our charities, and we really push to establish ourselves, getting together and doing meets, small meets. Up north, the guys get together more so on their own compared to meeting down south. But we do come together. We got camping coming up soon, which we'll meet in the middle. We just try and do everything as quick as possible, get everyone together as much as possible, and we go from there.
how hard is it with that many guys? I mean, I've only got like 20 in our chapter.
Yeah.
We've got like 20 in our chapter, but we're talking an area that's maybe top to north to south. It's probably we cover about an hour and a half versus
Mhm.
distance travel time, but we've got about 3 hours side left to right,
Yeah.
side to side, east to west. But so smaller area probably than what you're like would be like the size of basically our whole state. I think is
Yeah, yeah.
about the
More than
size
like,
state
I'd
of
say, yeah,
Indiana.
I'd say to the state, it's okay. Guys north and guys south, sort of thing. We're quite apart, so we do come together, not as much as we'd like. But the guys, one thing we did when I became captain, we started chasing more guys up north. We had one guy on his own, Liam, and he felt a bit lonely. But
Bet.
luckily, he met another guy, Jake, and Jake came in, and Jake's very proactive in getting guys involved. He, uh, he I think he was stopping everyone with a beard and asking would they be interested. But to be fair, they built well up there. West, not as much. Mid Wales, nothing really, and then down here, we got the bulk down south and east. But we do try and get together as much as possible. The guys up north, they have a good few meets. They're pretty active. Do a lot for charity as well on their own sometimes. Obviously, you can't do it all together, but what we're doing this year with the food banks, that seems to be working well all over. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, let me just talk on that for a second because I think I love hearing when there's chapters that have the size that you have, that
yeah,
you're covering the size that you have, and the fact that you're willing to, as a chapter, recognize the fact that we can't just because we can't do everything all the time, everything together, doesn't
yeah.
mean that we have to stop doing the charity stuff. If
Oh
if
no,
a
no,
if a handful of guys that live up here can do something and represent us,
yeah,
go for it, and
massively, and that's
I love
something.
that.
Yeah, yeah, we've done it. There's been a few teething problems, them being all the way up there at times, and communication. But that's something that me and my co-captain Steve, we work hard on communication. And if things go wrong, we make sure they get sorted. And we had a couple of issues which we sorted out back and forth, but we talked face to face and going through with charity wise, that's the good thing about it. Whatever's gone on, every single guy up there and down here, we're all interested in getting money together for charity and raising whatever we can. So at the end of it was easy because we all had the same sort of goal to go for, and we all wanted to raise money for charity. So that's how we're doing it, and coming together, it's not a problem. We just communication. That was it, which we seem to have ironed out.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that we have this kind of a very cool connection, our chapter with your chapter, and
Yeah.
and it was funny. You just reminded me today's what the 3-year anniversary. You said
2 year
of
anniversary, yeah, yeah. We
of this
we
thing,
built
and
the swing for Ruby.
yeah,
Yeah, a lovely young girl. We came together out the blue through a friend, and we did that. And next thing you know, you guys knew somebody else in that, or we knew somebody else in that area, and it was the same charity. So yeah,
yeah.
really cool. I love that. I think it's great, and that's the beauty of bearded villains, in my opinion. That's it's something that you can just recognize people all over the world.
Oh my gosh,
You know
yeah,
what?
I get chills thinking about it because I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
the fact that you guys were able to build this swing for someone over there, and
Mm,
you reach out to us and be like, hey, by the way, there's this thing, there's this organization, and I
yeah,
think somebody in your state is in need of a swing, and the fact that I mean, that we were able to partner up like that and say,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
we can go do that, and
That was pretty
it
cool.
was one of the most worthwhile and rewarding experiences that I know many of our guys have had to be a part of that thing. So I mean,
It's
we have
great, and
guys, we still talk about it.
we're still friends today with some of the people, the parents and the kids. One of the guys, Paul, he's in our chapter. His son has the same condition, schizonephily, and I become good friends with his son.
Nice.
Luke, he's one of the funniest guys I've ever met. He's a great guy, and I try and pay a visit as much as possible. But he's involved, and that's what we try and do. It's like Bearded Villains. We're a big family, and we try and help as much as possible, whatever it is. Anything charity wise or anything, just helping. One thing I've really enjoyed is the fact that the guys in the chapter, they do want to help, and it's not hard to get people to help for us. We do get a lot of people involved, and they put their hand out and happily jump in and help.
It's amazing how all this stuff just kind of ties in when you have the right people together and
Amazing. Yeah. I could go on all day talking about what Bearded Villains has done for the chapter and for myself and all the guys. It's fantastic. So yeah.
Well, hey, that's going to be another day because we could talk all day for that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's get into tell everybody, if anybody, for people that aren't familiar with what Bearded is, let's talk for a second about what it is, how it started, and what all it's for. What do you do it for?
So Bearded is our annual meet. We try and do it around our anniversary, which is May the 8th. This year, May the 4th, we decided to do May the 4th be with you. We just, because a lot of Star Wars fans in the chapter, and we started it just before lockdown in 2020. We were going to do our first Bearded, but unfortunately COVID hit and we couldn't. So during that period, we thought, okay, we'll give it another year. Next year, then the year after, just after I became captain, we set up Bearded 2021, and it was fantastic. We had a place in Cardiff. We worked for our charity, which we raised a lot of money for over that year. But we got in a bar, and they shelled out for it. We had a great package with the drinks, which is something that everyone likes a drink, but with the actual people turning up, it was a lot of people. I was surprised for our first meet how many turned up from all over. But we raised a lot of money that day with the beard competitions. It was fun, and we thought, okay, let's try it again next year. And it's gone on now. The year after, we did Fuel last year, which turned out to be the bar we're in, which turned out to be great, fantastic day again. And then this year, we've done even better. Less people this year, not too many less, but less people. But we seem to really work hard on what we did, and the amount of money we raised for our charity this year was great. And we're going to do it again next year. I think it's our 10th anniversary next year, so that's going to be a big one. We're going to try and make it as big as possible, raise as much money as possible, which is the main aim, and try and give everyone a good time. The vibes are great. I love the fact that we get guys coming in from all over, and yeah, we worked well this year. It was exciting. I'm always nervous around that time. I had my son's wedding the day before, which, sorry, I had my son's wedding on the Thursday, and then obviously the Friday, and then we had Bearded, so that was a busy week. But it was great. Fantastic. I'm lucky to have somebody like Steve as my co-captain, who's very proactive and busy. He doesn't stop. You've spoken to him. He's one of the best out there. We crossed wires once where he thought that he had to ask me for permission for things. I'm like, bro, just do me a favor. Just let me know what you're doing. He's so good with what he does with this chapter that a lot of the time I used to get frustrated thinking, oh man, I could have done more. I don't know. He tells me what he's doing and we just go ahead with it. He's fantastic. And there's a lot of guys like that in our chapter, which we're lucky to have. And again, the main aim is raising money for charity, and we're smashing it this year. We can only raise so much at the moment. We're trying to change our status. But yeah, and unfortunately, that's something that we can't do yet. We're going through the process, but as soon as we change our status with the charity, then we're going to be able to. The sky's the limit, We're going to look at all sorts of things. But
So
We
there's a limit there over there for how much you can raise.
yeah, unless you become a registered charity or a registered social enterprise, you can only raise up to £5,000.
Oh
Something
wow.
that we've been, since I've taken over, we've been very critical about. I think last year we pretty much did, after like a few months, we hit that 5K, which is not good, because before, a few years before, I think the chapter raised £28,000 before all this came in. We did like a radiothon and everything before I became captain. So
Wow.
now we're stuck. We could probably go out and raise a lot more money. So we're trying to push this through. We're going through with it now, getting the guys together, and just, again, once that status is changed, the sky's the limit. We can get hold of certain people and get the charities are going to love us even more. So
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah,
so let me understand a little bit over there. If your limit's 5,000, is that 5,000 that you're allowed to raise, period, or
yes,
for a specific organization? Oh, so it
a
doesn't matter how
period.
many
Yeah.
organizations you want to
So we
contribute to.
could have two or three different charities that we build up, or we could do like make a patch and raise some money there, but it all adds up. So it's
But
£5,000, and we've stuck to it, and we're going to stick to it until we change our status. We're not messing about.
okay.
We want to we want to set up a shop. We want to set up stuff for merch and everything like that. But
Yeah.
we're not risking it. We're not risking it. We're doing it right, and hopefully, in a very short time, we're going to have that, and the sky's the limit. Then we've got a lot of people interested in
Yeah.
helping us. Well, I'm chasing people all the time when it comes to sponsorship and certain thing. When we did the swing and everything, we got some guys together. They gave us money towards that to pay for the items, and we'll just keep doing that until we change the status. It's the lengthy process, which I was quite surprised at, but we're doing it now. It's taken us a while, but it's good to see. And again, things like beer, if we can go overboard at then at meets. We're talking world meet and things like that. It's not going to happen, maybe, but we could down the line, if we ever got a world meet in Wales or England. Our status is changing. You could
Yeah.
raise you could raise a lot of money,
Oh my
and that's the aim.
gosh.
That's the aim. When we're raising that money, and like we're going out very shortly to give these food banks the money, or the shopping that we're going to get and everything. It's a good feeling, as everyone knows. Raising money for these charities, it's a great feeling, and this one's close to my heart. The food banks.
Okay.
So yeah, I kind
Well,
of yeah. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, talk for a second about. I mean, because I don't think I don't think you mentioned yet who Beardiff was raising money for. And
So
I guess
we're raising.
to the side of that, let me ask you this: are you guys focused on just that one charity for now? Or are you kind of dividing out the funds that you do raise for things to other organizations as well, or have you kind of focused on the one?
So the Trussell Trust, which is the charity that we're raising for, they are the ones that they do the food banks all around Wales.
Oh wow.
Um, we've been lucky enough to find food banks for the Trussell Trust up north, west, southeast. We've got hold of some. There's an app that we've been using, and it's fantastic because on the app it says what the actual food bank is short of. So we're not going in blind to these food banks. We can go out and buy a lot of products for a certain amount of what they want. We've raised a certain amount of money. We're going to split it 4 ways, certain areas, and we're going to do that. They're going to get that certain amount of money, and we'll do the same then come the end of the year, when we've raised a certain amount, and by the end of the year we'll raise up to our total, and we'll do that again. Spread it out to the 4 places. It's great, and it's good to get the guys involved because they're the ones chasing these food banks and finding out what they need. But like one of our guys, Dan, he raised money on his own through himself just for the food bank. He done a cold dip, which was brilliant,
Yeah.
and that's just raising money just off his own back. It wasn't nothing to do with the chapter, but
Right.
that's the sort of thing we're doing, and a lot of other guys have already asked about things like that. So yeah, it's the Trussell Trust is close to my heart with the food bank thing, with feeding certain people, not just the homeless. I was quite surprised. I worked with them for a while. That the amount of people that you recognise, like I live in a small town, and the amount of people you recognise, they're not homeless. They're just going through hard times, and especially through COVID, that was the big one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great charity. We do not we pick one charity a year,
Okay.
Now and again, we'll help out other charities if needed. We like to do patches. We'll set up patches for somebody um, that needs it. We did it with Ruby. We did it with one of the brother's daughters that was struggling. Just it's not it's not a lot of money, but it's what we can do, and we come together. I'm pretty. I get in the chapter, and we got a lot of guys. So I say, right, put your money in the pot. Let's go. let's
Yeah.
let's get this person a certain amount of money. Just it doesn't have to be with the charity we do, but yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad. It can be hard work, but I tell you, it's so humbling. It's good to see, as everyone knows. It's great to see when you raise that money and make. I wouldn't say make people smile all the time, because you're not always going to get that, but you're going to get people appreciative, and that's nice.
Yeah. 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 People in certain circumstances, they're going to be appreciative, and you may not be able to always see it. They're not going to be
Yes.
able to.
Yeah.
They're not going to be, oh my gosh, happy, happy, joy, joy, like you just gave them a Christmas present. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, they're not going to be like that all the time, but you can see it. You can see what it's
Well,
doing.
with the food bank, for instance, you're handing out goods to people that are struggling. And I'll put my hand up and say I was, during the start of COVID, I was struggling, so I had to use a food bank. Very very humbling experience. Very horrible to think. I was going through a rough time. My wife was very ill. I'm having to do that. I still had a job, but you've got to go, and I got to put food in the cupboards. So doing that and seeing that at the time, that was a bit weird, but like you said, I was very appreciative, but I looked grumpy as hell. I looked grumpy as hell, and sorry, I got a bit of a nosebleed.
Oh, jeez.
No, it's fine. I've come down with a cold, that's all.
Okay.
And yeah, it's very, very humbling experience, but like I say, doing this now, it's great. And like I say, when we take the food to the places, and you see the guys there, they work very hard, and they're all volunteers. None of them are getting paid.
Yeah.
None of them are getting paid, and that's again. We've helped out a little, not as much. Busy man. One of the guys, he does it quite regularly. He goes and delivers some of the stuff off his own back, and that's what we do. Well, that's being a bearded villain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I love the stories. I love hearing about that stuff. I love hearing that the tie-in, because everybody does it a little differently. Everybody has
Yeah.
their own story about why they even joined Bearded Villains and all. But
Yeah.
once they get past that point, what it is that drives you to, and I think every chapter kind of has their own identity that says,
Yeah.
we focus on this, we focus on this thing, we focus on this, and
Yeah.
it's a very cool thing to see. And a lot of times it's specific to a handful of members of the chapter, because like you said, you have personally experienced
Yeah.
a situation where you needed those services, and it means something it means a little bit more to you than if
It does.
if people that haven't been through that before, and you can speak
This
from that experience.
charity, definitely. We've had we worked with a mental health charity last year, Jacob Abraham Association. They helped people with people who committed suicide, helping the families and stuff. That was a very humbling experience to work with a charity like that, getting to meet the families, getting to meet people that go through that. And not that I've been there, mental health is tough for a lot of people, but all the charities we work with, it's not just myself. And then you find out, like, one of the guys, he's the one that brought it up because he went through it. He went through a certain thing with his dad, and he loves Jacob Abraham, and it was, again, very humbling to do and different. I think every year since I've been involved, we've had a different sort of charity, and it knocked you for six, the amount of things that you learn working with these charities. And just we worked with the cancer charity, cancer research, not long ago, and we're going into the hospital to take in the money, and we're getting to meet young kids with cancer, and that's hard. But you know what? They see a big guy with a big hat and a beard. And my beard, I've dyed my beard for my son's wedding, but I got a big white beard, and they're calling me Santa's little brother. Yeah, you just walk in, and that's in the middle of July. You're walking into a ward like that, and it's putting smiles on their faces. You can't buy that.
No.
And again, just loads of different stories. I love the stories, like yourself.
Yeah.
And I could talk all day about it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This has been this thing. I was just telling one of the other guys the other day that the podcast now, it's coming up on this August. It'll be 5 years that I've been doing this.
Yeah,
And
5 years.
the interviews, all the people that I've been able to talk to, and the stories
Yeah.
of lives that have been changed, not just the ones that the villains change, but the villains' lives that have been changed
Yeah, massively.
from the stuff that they do. It's
Yeah,
uplifting, it's humbling, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry. It's just awesome. So
great.
I appreciate you for everything that you're doing over there, and the stories you're continuing, the stories that I'm just happy to
Whatever
hear, man.
happens, I'll continue doing it, whether I'm captain or whether
Oh
I'm
yeah.
villain. It doesn't matter to me. I've never changed. One thing I've never done since running a chapter, you get all sorts of things. But I tell you what, I've never changed. I never will.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I love the guys that I work with, or not work with, that I'm part of, the brotherhood, and just meeting people like yourself. The work you've done with this podcast over 5 years. I remember your first podcast. I remember where I was. I was
No.
working with the lad Daniel. The lad Daniel I work with, and I sat downstairs listening to it with him for the first time, and just things like that just going on. I got so many stories over Bearded Villains, and the involvement with my family. My son's now a supporter. He's loving. He goes to more meets than most of the guys in the chapter. He's very, very active about it, and he loves it. But I went over to Los Angeles. My parents live there. Got to meet a lot of good guys over there. Got to meet Fred, Steve Svensbeard. Love that guy. Mickey. I got to meet a good few people over there, and that's the other side of the world to me. And literally, they're phoning me to meet up, and I just find that fantastic.
Isn't that yeah? Well, we got to get you back over here again.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I don't know when I'm going to give you back over there. I was hoping to come back over for one of the events this year.
Yeah.
But
I'd like to come over. I'm hoping to go over to Canada as well. See Dan in Lakeshore. Love that guy. Love his family. Love the chapter. Great bunch of people. They come to Wales, and they're really good guys as well. They do a hell of a lot for a small chapter. They got like 10 guys, and they do a hell of a lot. Things like that, though. You meet guys. Who would have thought I'd be friends with a guy in Lakeshore in Canada?
Well,
and I live in a little town in Wales.
Yeah. Well, what are you doing June 21st?
This year?
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm not sure. So.
Get on a plane. Come on over to Beards for Bucko up in Canada. And
I know, Beards for Bucko.
We'll be going to that. So get on over here.
Dan's over now. Dan's over for the 1st of June. He's over for Villain Fest at London. So I'm gonna go and meet him, see him. I don't think he knows, but he'll be having a flag off me anyway. So he's going to be taking a flag to keep. So hopefully I can get over there. It depends on with my wife with the operation. We're just waiting now on a date. So we've done the pre-op. So we're just waiting on that. I'd love to travel and come and visit all over America, Canada, South America. I don't speak much Spanish, but I'd love to go.
Oh yeah, the map is wide open for us to go if we just finding the time and finding the money to do it for sure. But
pick a country and you meet a bearded villain.
Yeah. Well, if you can't come to Bucko, in June, come here to Northern Indiana. You can just fly into Chicago in October for our Halloween event.
October. Okay.
That's what we should do.
What date do you do that?
It's October 19th. So
okay.
I know that we had Bulldog here and Rob here last year that came into town for that event. And
great guys.
I think Rob's going to try and still come. I don't know if we can. I'm not sure if I'm able to talk Bulldog and come back over. So
every meet needs Bulldog.
Yeah,
that's how I say. Every meet needs Bulldog.
He cracks me.
He's great. He's fantastic. We support the same football team, and we bonded over that. But just Bearded Villains itself, every time I go to a meeting, he's not there. It's not depressing, but it's just not the same.
No, it is. Yeah,
he lights it up. He's so good. Just it's
that bald smile he has, man. You
Yeah,
know,
great guy, great chapter. To be fair, London's a great
yeah,
chapter. They're all good. We got a good bunch over here in
you
the
do,
UK. We got
you
some
do.
really good.
I'm sad that when I went over for Monkey Jam last year, that I met a few of the guys from the other chapters outside of the Northern Monkeys, but
Yeah,
I wish I was able to meet more from all the other chapters around. And then I'm like,
yeah.
well, crap.
We
Now,
do try.
and you have so many meets that are like right on top of each other this time of year too. So it's like, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
if I can come over in the spring, I have to choose. Okay, well, I've already, okay, now I got to go to this one.
yeah,
Now I got to go to this one. So fingers crossed. Next year, I'm coming back in the spring.
yeah.
Bringing the wife with me.
Well,
Hopefully, we'll see.
next year I'll be doing Monkey Jam and then Beardiff. I don't have my son's wedding to worry about. Monkey Jam's a week before ours,
Oh, good.
so I'd like to get up there and then straight after I think we got London then now coming up. It's great. The UK with the meets is fantastic. I went up to Edinburgh, to Scotland. That was
Oh,
my first proper meet in 2021. I don't think I've gone to a meet better since, and that's not a dig at any of the meets. I've been to
no.
some amazing meets, but Edinburgh I've never been to. What a place! And then you get a bunch of Scottish guys putting on a meet, and it's just fantastic. It was unbelievable. I've never spent so much money, never drank so much, never seen so many people drink so much. Them Scots can't put it away. But it was it raised a hell of a lot of money as well, and it was great. And I'm
I've
hoping to
heard
go to
it's
Glasgow this year.
yeah. I've heard it's pretty pricey up there.
Edinburgh is, yeah, Edinburgh
Yeah,
is. Like I say, I don't think I've ever spent so much money in 3 days. My
yeah,
wife wasn't too best pleased. So,
yeah. Probably not.
and then
Probably
when
not.
she seen how many Jaeger bombs I bought, she wasn't too happy.
Oh well, you're
But
not supposed to give her an itemized list for that. You
no,
just.
unfortunately, when you buy them on the bar, that's what comes through on the bank statement.
Oh no.
So for some reason, they said Jaeger bombs, and she was like, "How many?" I won't tell you how many because it was quite shocking. But yeah,
But it's
everyone,
plural.
everyone, I paid for everyone to have a good time.
There you go. Yeah, that's the way
Yeah,
to
yeah,
reason that off. That's how you say that.
yeah.
No, they weren't
But
offering
yeah,
any.
all good.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
Well, it's funny you bring that up because one of the other things that I love, and it's not specific to Beardiff, but something that I notice every time you guys have a meet over there, one of the chapters has a meet, you have so much freaking history, and you
yeah,
guys get these epic flag shoots in front of actual castles.
yeah. Well, we
We,
got
on the
inside
other
the
hand,
castle this year.
yeah,
Yeah,
we, on the other hand, we might get like a bridge or something that's been built like 15, 20 years ago
yeah,
and
yeah.
some weird building or something. I mean, come on, it's just not fair.
Wales is full of castles. We've got quite a few.
Where was the
Um,
one this year that you guys were out in front of? I
so it was
saw these
Cardiff
pictures.
Castle, which is
Okay.
literally the venue from where we were is across the road. You can come out the venue and see the castle. Last year we couldn't get in there. There was a big pride rally going on.
Mm.
We couldn't get near the castle, which is fine. The stadium is around the corner at our national stadium, Principality Stadium. We had it outside there. The security were great to let us through. 60 odd bearded guys coming through. They're not going to say no, but they thought it was fantastic. They were like, "What? You're taking photos?" We're like, "Yeah, we flag shoot," and we ended up having them take the photos. But this year we did Cardiff Castle for the first time. Fantastic. Got inside the castle. We had the keep, which is pretty much what we were photoed in front of. We had the big manor house. There was a lot of people inside for some market stall day, and so many people were interested, asking questions. The guys let us through to have the photos on the main green. Again, 60 odd bearded guys coming through. They're not saying no, but it was great, and it's just the involvement and loads of questions. Where tourists were coming up from other countries wanting to know what we're doing. And we're having photos with tourists, and they want that, and it's great. And to do that, the big flag shoots, I love. It's I try and get a flag shoot wherever I am, and I carry a flag with me all the time. And it's nice now my son's involved because I drag him into it as
Yeah.
well. So
It's such a great
yeah,
time. Such a
but
great thing. And now that you can do these
Cardiff
photos with your
Castle,
son.
yeah, the Cardiff Castle itself, up North Wales as well. You've got some great castles all over. The thing is, Wales is fantastic for scenery and for places to go. Castles everywhere,
Yeah.
cathedrals. But England's the same. England, Scotland, it's a great country, the UK. And I think the way we are with meats,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
No, it's
I
beautiful.
do,
And
I
I'm
do.
jealous. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I want to.
I
I wish I
certainly
just
enjoy
could
it.
take. I want to just take 2 weeks and just take photos with flags all over all these different
Yeah.
landmarks, and it's gonna be a while.
There's Cardiff Castle's very good. We've got Philly Castle. I could go on with the Welsh castles, but there's you go up to North Wales and you're like the way Conwy is and everything, and you're looking the castle, the outskirts. It goes back years and hundreds of years, even to 1,000 years. And there's castles that they're going on for nearly 30 miles, where the walls used to be, and you're driving and you just all you see is castle wall. And you're still driving for like an hour. It's really good.
That's
And
insane.
and then you turn up and the whole town is built around a castle or built inside a castle.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
No
yeah.
way! I thought that's just in movies.
No, that's Wales.
No, that's just Wales. That's amazing.
That's just Wales. Yeah, great place. Weather's not so great, but it's okay.
It's livable. That's where you're at.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Well-
used to work in the desert when I lived in Los Angeles, so this is not bad.
No, yeah, take it for what it's worth, for sure. Well, man, I have had so much fun talking to you. We could go on for hours, and I'm sure we got to connect more often, for sure.
Anytime. Yeah.
Just
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Massive congratulations to you guys. And hopefully you can get that status fixed as quickly as you can. I can't even imagine what more you guys can be able to do after that. But
it's sky's the limit there.
Yeah.
We can look at grants and everything like that. We can build for the charities. We want to do so much, and it kind of feels like our hands are tied. When we were a bit less, it was okay. We can only raise this much. It's not. Now we're getting bigger as a chapter. We got a lot of guys that want to do stuff and that want to raise that money, and having to tell somebody sorry. So, like guys like Dan, for instance, he went it off his own back. That's nothing to do with the charity, but he's still doing it, and that's what we're telling them. And fair play. There's a lot of guys wanting to do stuff, and that's the beauty of Bearded Villains, the beauty of the chapter we have, and they all deserve credit. It's a great chapter to be in. I thoroughly enjoy what we do as a Bearded Villain. I thoroughly enjoy being captain of this chapter. I can't wait for what the future holds for us, and it's great. Thank you.
I'm
Appreciate
excited for you. I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
thanks so much again for taking some time out, and just keep me posted when you're
anytime
with your travel schedules. Keep me posted on everything that you guys are up to, because I want to be able to tell everybody what Wales is up to, man.
Well, I'm supposed to be coming out for Thanksgiving. Maybe I can drop off Chicago on the way. I know it's on the route.
All right, that's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll be in touch for sure. We gotta make that happen. So at the very least, if you're giving Dan a flag, I can get a picture with the flag when I go to Bucko. So
definitely. That's 100% there, mate. Yeah, not a problem.
All right, perfect.
Appreciate it. Okay.
All right,
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to you soon. Thanks.
Great speaking to you. Cheers,
too.
Brian.
All right, cheers.
Take care, buddy. Thank you. Good night, mate.
Good night. All right. Yes. Oh, that was good. I could just, if I wasn't pressed for time, and if it wasn't like 1:00 or midnight his time, I'm sure Andy and I could have just sat and talked for a long time. And man, but Wales is doing some cool stuff. And Beardiff is one of those another, there's so many events over there in UK that I want to go to. And I almost just like have to take a spring and just go stay there for a month so I can get to all the different events if I timed it out right. But that's not going to happen. I know that. So it may just have to be one of those things where I do one event every year. If I'm able to even get over there every year. I hope I can, but we'll see. We'll see. But thanks, Andy, for taking some time out for me, for sure. I do appreciate that. Hey, before I get into our next interview with Moose, I do have to say, whether you are navigating the rugged terrain or the great outdoors, or conquering the concrete jungle of the urban landscape, Bigfoot Beard Company has you covered. Bigfoot products are made of natural ingredients designed to help maintain a healthy, rich beard without leaving it greasy and heavy. From classic cologne-inspired fragrances to fruity notes and earthy tones, there's sure to be a scent for every occasion. With worldwide shipping available, why not take the opportunity to walk on the wild side? Head over to www.bigfootbeardco.com. BigfootBeardCo.com today. Grab yourself some Bigfoot beard care. That, again, address is www.bigfootbeardco.com. And that's that. So, hey, we're going to finish this episode off here with an interview I had not too long after I got done speaking with Andy. I got to speak with Moose. Now, Moose, you may have seen, if you were paying attention on the socials, last week or a week or two ago, I think it was, maybe a week and a half ago, he decided to do his own little thing to help raise some money for food banks. Then, taking advantage of, after he did the thing that he did that he's going to tell us about, then he went out and purchased some goods for said thing. I thought it was pretty cool. So, I wanted to talk with him, and I took advantage of the fact that I already had Andy on the line. Reach out. Let's see. Hey, is Moose available? Yes, he's available, and we're going to grab him and we're going to talk to him. So I did. We did, and this is the result. Now, I will say this. At one point during the interview, we had a little bit of internet issues, and I just realized about 10 minutes ago that I forgot to snip out that little internet issue. So I'm going to try to manually fast forward at one point in this interview so I can get through it. We'll see how that works. And if not, if you're listening on a standard podcast platform later without video, through the magic of editing, you'll never even know this was here, other than the fact that I'm saying it right now. So, sorry, but you get the idea. All right. Hey, here's my other interview tonight with Moose. Boys and girls, I have a second special guest tonight from the same chapter. And there's a reason. There's a reason why I'm bringing this guy back. I'm talking about a guy some people call Dan, but most people call Moose from BV Wales, telling us about his journey, but also about a really cool thing he did just recently, a few days back. Everybody, welcome to the show, Moose. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going? You okay?
I'm telling you what, man, I'm excited. I get to talk to two of you guys from the same chapter in the same night, and that you guys stayed up for me, so I appreciate it. And yeah, you're losing sleep for me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind.
Well, I mean, this is the first time that I'm actually getting a chance to talk to you, and
Yeah.
first time maybe our stateside listeners get a chance to hear from you. So let's just start it real easy. Tell us a little bit about you, your journey, and what's been going on with you and BV Wales, man.
So for me, my journey started back in 2019. Um, a lot of my life has been taken up by rugby. I know it's getting a bit more traction over in the US. So um, for me, with rugby, I played for 26 years, and the bond and brothers you make within rugby for playing that long was a massive part of my life. Um, Couple of unfortunate injuries left me with 3 knee surgeries, so rugby had to take a bit of a back burner. But then I felt there was something missing. And I ended up at a tattoo convention back in 2019. Seen the Welsh chapter lads there then. And I had a beard at the time, but seeing some of their beards, I thought some good going, that is. But yes, I had a chat with a few of them, told me what BV was all about, and I thought, yeah, I've got to be part of that because it just sounded incredible. Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. No, hey, and it's so funny because no matter where you are in the world, everybody has a story that's real similar to that. There was something missing.
Yeah,
Usually it's some feeling of something that they had, from previous. But rugby, man, that is a sport.
yeah,
That is and it's not an easy sport. Not for weaklings and not for
no,
people
not
that
at
are
all.
not. You got to be brave for that sport.
To be honest, it's something that it's had my heart for as long as I can remember. To be perfectly honest, and even now I get the odd texts and phone calls. Fancy putting the boots on, and to be honest, I can't say no. I played. It was 2 weeks ago. even with a plate in my leg now, I was like, yeah, I can't say no to that.
So did you
I
did you
love it.
play for a job? I mean, were you getting paid for it?
No, I was close.
Okay.
But my first injury, the first time I had my knee injury, that kind of messed it up for me a little bit. And I fell out of love with it, so to speak, and just became sort of a mercenary and went to play with whoever made me the best offer, um, and just went and played. So I was close, but yeah, injuries it kept me away from it.
I think that the poignant part of that phrase that you just said was when you said my first knee injury.
Yeah,
the
yeah. So
Anytime there's multiple knee injuries that occur over a career of playing some sport, then that's dedication, and
yeah.
you just have to you can't say you don't love it for sure. I mean, come on.
Well, no, exactly. So 3 knee surgeries. I got a plate in there at the minute. At 21, they told me I'm going to need a new knee, but they won't do that till I'm at least 40. So I got a few more years left yet.
Wow. Okay, well, good luck for that. I mean, jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah, rugby's not super big over here. I mean, it's growing a little bit, but
it's getting it.
coming from a kid that played, I grew up. Played a little bit of football, but my focus was hockey, growing up, and so.
Yeah,
But I know the types of collisions that you have in rugby because for about 2 weeks when I was in college, we tried a few of me and my brothers, fraternity brothers, tried to start up a club rugby team because one of them had played rugby
yeah,
in high school, and he was trying to teach us rugby. And I mean, I was like, wait a minute, we're just gonna just jam into each other, just blow into each other all the time with no pads and
yeah.
no. And I'm like, okay, we'll try that. And I'm like, nope, sorry. I value my knees too much, my ankles too much, my shoulder. Nope, sorry. Give me some pads.
No, I love it.
I was too much of a wuss for it. I'll play hockey all day long and slam into people, but no, not that. So more power to you, man, for doing it for
Well,
so long.
I know it is getting some traction over in the US. So I follow the San Diego team over there. So I do enjoy watching it from over there.
All right. Well, from one crazy story and crazy history of a crazy man to another story we're going to lead into. You did something just recently that caught my attention because it was a variation of what we see a lot of times this time of year, or just with the last month or two with these polar plunges that go on. But you kind of took it a little step further and kind of cracked me up because I watched that video back and I was watching it. I had to watch it like 2 or 3 times because you're just like, dude, it's like you're loading up a cooler to put some drinks in. Just one bag of ice.
Yeah.
One more bag of ice. One more bag of ice. And you just kept going. I was like, that's too much ice. That's too much ice. So tell everybody what this thing was that you did and what it was meant to do to help out with.
So yeah, I've got an ice bath in my back garden because I do enjoy cold water therapy, and I think it's great, to be honest. The mental and health benefits that you get from an ice bath is just incredible. I recommend it to anyone.
I hear that.
But yeah,
but my body still says once a year for a polar plunge.
you've got to do it.
But no,
it's great.
No,
Trust me.
You do that for the rest of us. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue the story there.
No, it's fine. So one of the other brothers in the Welsh chapter, Nev, he put out a post because he lives relatively close to me, literally just up the road. And he put a post out that our local food bank was really struggling, to the point where they potentially have to close their doors for a little bit while they restock. As soon as I heard that, I just thought, look, it's a crying shame in this day and age that food banks need to exist, let alone potentially having to shut their doors of people not being able to eat. So for me, it was a case of I need to do something. I had my ice bath. it was a very sort of limited time scale I give myself. I think I give myself 2 weeks. Um, but I put it out there for sort of every £100 raised is a minute longer I'll stay in the ice bath. Um, and it in total ended up raising £400. So it was 4 minutes in the ice bath. The day of doing it, yeah, I put 10 bags of ice in because I thought I've got to put a fair bit of ice in here to make this worth it. For obviously the people that donated. So yeah, I've done that. Like for me, sitting in the ice bath, it was fresh, but it was doable. I was hoping to raise a lot more and have to sit in there for a lot longer, but um, like you said, I enjoy the cold water therapy, so it weren't too. I say it weren't too bad, but it was the fact that I needed to do something to be able to help the food bank. So yeah, then me and my cousin Ben, the one that you seen in the video loading the ice in, um, we went and done the food shop on Tuesday morning. I think what day it was then. But Tuesday morning, bought as much stuff as we possibly could, um, and then yeah, we delivered it, and the gratitude from them, and they are just volunteers, but it, like they sort of said to me that they needed it because they were running low on so much stuff, and they didn't know what they were going to do. So it's just trying to find ways to do stuff to be able to give back, and because it's local to myself, it's just giving back to people that I may not know need to use the food bank, but I know them, and they don't want people to know their struggles. And yeah, it was just the fact of needing to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, kudos to you, man. That's a thing. I mean,
And that was
that's
that was pretty
that's
much it.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so, when you typically do your cold water therapies, when you go in there just for your own health and wellness, how long do you typically stay in?
Yeah. So I usually do between 3 and 5 minutes when I get in
Okay.
there. They say not to do over 11 minutes a week, I think. But yeah, that tends not to happen. I don't go in there every day, but I try to get in there every other day.
Well, we've already established you like to push the limits. So, I mean, you've already proven that you like to do that. So, it doesn't surprise me that you like
Yeah.
to do it. You like to push the limits of the cold tub as well. But that's incredible, man. I'm
Oh yeah,
excited.
definitely.
I'm just excited for what that I saw the carts full of all the stuff that you donated. I'm excited for what that can do for those
Yeah.
people, especially when they were struggling so bad for needing the stuff to help people out.
Oh, sorry, bear with me.
But yeah, so yeah, I was just saying to help out with the shelter. What all were you able to buy for them?
So a lot of it was tin goods because obviously they have a long lifespan. So they gave me a list of a lot of things. There was sort of like cereal, pasta, rice, um, tin stuff like tin fruit, tin veg, um, all non-perishables. But then obviously there was toiletries as well. Um, Ladies' hygiene products we picked a load up of because obviously sometimes the people using these food bank, if they may be single mothers and things like that, and if any parent was drop something that isn't necessarily needed to be able to feed the kids. So we made sure we got a mix of everything that they asked for. I think most of the things that they asked for on there we got between, I think it was 10 and 15 of each item. So it was a lot. So we knew it was going to help out a lot of people because of the way that they give the stuff out. So um, the, there was just a lot. To be honest, it was a hell of a lot of stuff.
Man, well, I gotta say, I mean, after speaking with Andy a bit about what your chapter's been up to, and all the amazing things that you guys are doing there, and the size of your chapter. I didn't realize that the chapter was so big.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys are spread out enough that you guys can still impact so many different areas in smaller groups too. I love that. And the fact that
Yeah.
people like yourself are just doing things on your own to make a difference. I can't say enough good things about what you guys are doing over there. So thank you on behalf of other bearded villains out there. I think you're showing an example for others to follow, that you don't have to wait for your whole chapter to do something. And I think that's so important for us to realize that, a lot of times, especially a chapter your size, you're not always going to get 70 guys together to do something. And if your heart tugs you in the right way and says you need to go do something, you can just do it all by yourself and still represent the chapter and the brotherhood as a whole.
Yeah. It's nearly impossible to get the full chapter together because of how spread out we are. But yeah, it's great to see that not just myself, but other boys as well. They've taken it on themselves in the past, and I think if you were doing it in the future as well, where it's something that hits home to them, so they want to help, and they're going out, they're doing the things on their own, which like I'm quite involved with our supporters, and I say to them, if there's something you want to do, just put it out there. We'll help it where we can. We'll share it everywhere, but don't think you can't do it if it's something that you feel needs doing. And like I put on my post, and whenever it's to do with charity, I always put a hashtag. This is what we do.
Yeah, I love that. This is what we do. It's simple, but it's perfect.
Yeah,
It's perfect. So, man, I wish I had more time to sit and just talk with you, but that's definitely coming up in the future. We gotta stay in touch.
yeah,
And
definitely.
I look forward to all the cool things that you guys are going to keep doing. I got some kind of heads up from Andy a little bit about what they're what the chapter's looking forward to doing in the future, and
Yeah,
I couldn't be more excited for what you guys are about to do out there. So it's awesome.
yeah. We got a few things planned.
That's awesome. That's great. I keep saying awesome, like I feel like I'm back in the 80s. It's awesome, dude. But just keep doing what you're doing and being a great example, and for everybody else. And I know that's not why you're doing it. It's because your heart's pulling you to do something good to help other people out. But that in and of itself, I think, is a great example for others to follow. And just keep up the great work, man.
Thank you.
All right, Moose, thanks so much for taking this time. I know it's late. Now you can go back, take a quick drink, do what you got to do to get yourself relaxed enough, and you can go to sleep. And I will talk at you soon, man.
Get the bed ready for work.
All right. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It's been
Take
great.
care. All right. Yeah. Man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Getting to talk to, international brothers. Anytime you get a chance to talk to brothers, spend some time talking to them, learning about what they're doing, it's always a great thing. It's one of the best things that I've been able to do through this podcast. But to be able to get 2 different interviews on one night and basically make this episode a BV Wales episode, which I love to do. Awesome job. So great job. Thanks again, Andy. And thanks again, Moose, for taking some time out. Hopefully they're both asleep right now. And they can hear all about this tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys so much. Hey, you know what? We've been over an hour, and I think that's just going to wrap it up. And it's just going to wrap up this episode, I think, is just a nice little tiny happy bow, I think, is the way we can do that, right? If you were looking for, again, just as a reminder, if you were one of those that were hoping to get something Villains of the World segment, Villains Around the World segment on for tonight, I apologize for that. If there's some merch stuff going on for your chapter, doing some stuff for raising some money or something like that, that I didn't get a chance to talk about tonight because I pushed that stuff to the side for my interviews, I do apologize. Just make sure you reach out to me and make sure that, just as a reminder, I won't take it the wrong way, but say, hey, just as a quick reminder, don't forget for next week's episode, we got this thing, or we did this thing, or whatever it is, or we got this item that we're selling for charity. Whatever it is, push it to me. Let me know. I won't take it the wrong way. I just had to set things up tonight the way I did because that's what I had to do. So, You know what that music means, guys? It's going to wrap it up. Episode 215 in the books. I want to challenge you guys, as I do every week, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys. Please remember them well. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. But that's not enough. You got to take the extra steps, and you got to talk to somebody. That's what your brothers are for. Guys, that's it. It's going to wrap it up. I got a wedding this weekend. Happy wedding to my daughter. That just sounds weird. I will see you back here next week, guys, for episode 216. Until then, take care and stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard.